We are back for more history of Star Wars toys. The year was 1991. Cool things were grungy and hair was long. Again. It was also the year that Kenner, under the Tonka Company, was purchased by Hasbro. 4 years later, in 1995, a new wave of Star Wars toys were produced. These were brand new designs and brand new packaging of our favorite characters, just as we remembered them from our worn out VHS tapes. The once stiff, weedy toys gave way to new buff and better painted figures that looked more like the people they represented. Well, kind of. Check out those pecs. Even toys that weren't in the film started showing up, like this Stormtrooper crowd control. Wouldn't a Stormtrooper just use their blaster for crowd control? Not only did we get updated models of figures that had been previously made in the 70s and 80s, we also got new figures and even ones from the Shadows of the Empire comic. Between the summer of 95 until Christmas 97, there were over 101 new toys made. The new vehicles were created during the same time and used the same molds as their previous Kenner versions, like the X-Wing and the Millennium Falcon, just with updated paint jobs and sounds. But we also got new vehicles like Dash Rendar's Outrider, which was the poor child's Millennium Falcon, but it was pretty cool. Pew pew pew! Even original concept drawings of vehicles were turned into cool toys. If you remember from the first video, I mentioned the Power of the Force line from Kenner that came with aluminium coins. Well, these became highly collectible. So Hasbro decided to tap into this potential and created the Millennium Minted Coin Collection, exclusive to Toys R Us. Try and say that fast. Millennium Minted Coin Collection. That's not too bad. These coins used the same front as the Power of the Force line, but had a different back. Unfortunately, only 7 figures were made in this line. With the release of the Star Wars Special Edition in 1997 came the chance for new creatures, and rather than use the 70s and 80s molds, new up-to-date creatures were created to match the new figures. Star Wars has a huge amount of characters to make toys of. Just look at the cantina scene in Episode 4 and you've got a plethora of choices. As such, in 1998, Hasbro continued issuing new versions of figures from its original line, whilst also adding previously unreleased characters. These included figures from video games, comic books, and the novels. I think I can say between the early Kenner toys and the new 90s line of Hasbro and Kenner, you could almost have every character, creature, or vehicle that appeared in the first 3 films. Now, while I haven't quite got there yet, let's start reviewing what I do have. Stay tuned for my first Star Wars toy review.